Up and Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up and Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
All right, happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being Up and Adam. What is good? My name is Adam Montiel. The weekend, I could see it, feel it, taste it. I'm excited for today's show. We've had, like Dean Cain yesterday. We had on the guy who won NBC's The Voice. Today, we're keeping it local, baby. And this story is so good and feels so good. What started as a teen's obsession with the perfect chicken tender has now become one of the most exciting young food brands in SoCal here. And it's not just about the dredge mix. At just 16, Aiden Ponti has gone from slinging flour at the Mid-State Fair to running Breadin Bros, a rising culinary label built on family, flavor, and full send entrepreneurship. At such a young age, too. From scratch-made spice boosters to launching his own race team in a car pulled from a tow yard, this kid is building a movement that blends crispy tradition with Central Coast grit. And yes, he's still doing his homework between launches. Today, he joins me again nearly 2 years after our first interview, older, sharper, with a story that's only gotten richer. From gravy hacks to AI experience, new product drops to dream collabs, Aiden's not just building a brand, he's building legacy with a whisk in one hand and a wrench in the other. You're going to meet him later in the show. And trust me, you're going to want to hear where this kid is headed. And you're going to want to stock your kitchen with his product. All right, before we get into our chat, the term office chair butt is trending online, and there's a good chance you already have it. But don't worry, it's actually reversible. Office chair butt is when you got that flat, saggy, unimpressive backside because you sit too damn long at work. Even if you have the best office chair in the world, too much sitting can cause your butt muscles to atrophy, die out over time, yeah. Just standing up and moving through the day can help a lot, though. Few easy ways this article talked about how to avoid office chair butt. Pace around when you're on a phone call. Inside or outside, up or down a hall, or in a circle. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're moving. Number 2 on this list, put something you need regular access to a few feet away from your desk. Like if you use your printer a lot, don't have it within arm's length. Number 3, choose a bathroom that's a little further away. Maybe even one on a different floor, or take the stairs. Number 4, stand up, do some butt clenches. I'm doing them right now. Yeah, work it. Several times a day. You could also try toe lifts or just march in place while reading emails. A lot of people got the standing desk. That certainly helps. And then number 5, finally on this list, walk to a coworker's desk instead of calling them or sending an email. A little face-to-face contact wouldn't hurt your mental health. It's also not going to hurt your butt. Your butt likes it. Anything to get you up and moving is good. You don't have to spend 8 straight hours a day sitting, because if you do, your butt might just straight disappear. So there you go. Office chair butt. All right, before we talk to Aiden Ponti, CEO of Breadin Bros at 16 years old, we're going to tell you about something that he cannot go to, and that is Pink Drink. You got 5 years on you, buddy, before I'm going to see you at Pink Drink. Bring your thirst, leave your excuses. This summer we pour pink. Pink Drink is back Saturday, July 12th at the Elks Lodge in San Luis Obispo. Over 30 of the hottest producers from wine, beer, cider, spirits, craft cocktails, all poolside, all dressed in pink, curated bites, past apps, live DJ, and vibes you can't fake. This is not your average tasting, I swear to you that. This is summer served sexy. It all supports the Woods Humane Society, also the Elks National Foundation, so you can party with purpose. It's exclusive, it's for the 21 and over, grown and sexy only, and it's priced, considering a lot of these events, it's priced like it shouldn't be. $65, and you're going to get all the tastings and all the food that you want. Come hungry, come thirsty. Promise you won't leave either of those. Grab your tickets now. Pink Drank, D-R-A-N-K, pinkdrank.org.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, this is a cool one. Joining me now, someone I first met almost 2 years ago at the California Mid-State Fair. Back then, he was just 14 years old, slinging samples and talking to me about this new wild idea he had executed, a handcrafted dredge mix called Breadin Bros. Fast forward, and this kid is now a full-on founder, running a real deal business with products in stores, a racing team even, and a brand that's expanding faster than his driver's license. Does he have one yet? He's thoughtful, he's sharp, and he's got that rare blend of hustle and heart. Back on Up and At 'em, making big moves. Please welcome with me the young CEO of Breadin Bros, Aiden Ponti. Aiden, man, it's good to have you Up and At 'em. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
It's been a little while.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, like 2 years ago we met.
Uh-huh. Close to 2 years.
Because it was at the fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 2 years ago in July, August.
Yeah.
You were 14.
Out. Mm-hmm.
And you were a brand new business owner.
Yep.
Starting up Breadin Bros.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I mean, you're all CEO'd out. We have so many fun questions. I can't wait to hear how has it been going? How is your entrepreneurship gone from 14, 15, 16? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. We've really been getting really into it. Just doing more events, getting into more stores, and it's been really exciting, like getting to meet more people and doing all the things. It's been really an experience, and it's been awesome.
When you think back to that first interview, standing behind your booth at the Mid-State Fair, what's the biggest thing, or you're bringing out the samples to everybody, what's the biggest thing that's changed about you since then, and maybe what stayed exactly the same?
I think what the biggest change has been just like my mentality about everything. I was definitely the new kid going into everything. I was like, wow, this is all, it's really awesome. And since then I've kind of been like, all right, I've been really getting into like the business of it. And it's kind of been it's really been like a coming of age. And I think otherwise, a lot of me has stayed the same.
Yeah. I love that. It's so cool to hear someone 16 talk about a coming of age, but you really have lived a lot in these last couple of years, because taking on a business is no joke. What does it mean being a founder to you? I mean, not just like the Instagram entrepreneur kind of way, but late nights, you're packing things, you're doing things. What does that mean to you?
What it means to me is just being able to make an impact. You are going through all the work and you're up on the late nights, and, in the back of your mind, you're like, man, what I'm doing right now is really going to make an impact in my community, in the wider world, hopefully. And, that always keeps you going.
Yeah. What does it feel like to put your name, your story, and your risk really into a product and then send it out for, your community, even the world, right? To taste, to judge, to share? What's that like?
It's really exciting because you get to, really see you get to reap what you sow. I really think that's been the case for me so far. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs get to say that they really feel it's not always overnight or immediately, but eventually, I think everyone who sticks it out really would agree that it's awesome just getting to see your child go out into the world and thrive. And
what are some of the things I love this question of different business owners, like what gets left on the cutting room floor, right? Was there a flavor idea? Was there something that you tried and you're like, oh my God, this is not good. We cannot do this.
Oh, you're always coming up with new ideas. And honestly, when you're an entrepreneur and you're always, at least with me, you're always thinking and coming up with new ideas, 90% of them never leave your brain.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, that'd be really cool. And then you actually think about it and you do a little bit of research and you're like, maybe that probably wouldn't pan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a misconception? I'm curious, what maybe is a misconception that people will have about young founders like you, and how do you kind of prove them wrong?
Ooh, that's, Misconception. Yeah.
I mean, do people discount you because you're young? I mean, you're 16, and here you are. You know, or do they kind of go, "Oh, he's 16"? I mean, soon that's going to kind of go away because you're getting older. But I mean, do people take you seriously because you're so young? Anything like that?
Well, with that, I would say that one of the big things is, you know, I think when people tell you, "Oh," because I hear this so much. People are like, "Oh, you're gonna go so far," you know. You're gonna do all these great things, and you know, they're all like really excited to see where you go. And I think that, you know, when people say that, you know, a lot of the time it's, you know, obviously it's a supportive comment, but I think it's like, you know, there's so much work when it comes to like, "Oh, you're gonna do all these great things," you know. There's going to be, I think sometimes when everyone says it like that, you know, might start to think that, "Oh, whatever I do," you know, and it's like, regardless, you have to put in all the like hard work.
The work.
Yeah. You really gotta give it your all, even if people, you know, tell you at your young age, "Oh, you're going to do so great."
Yeah. It's like you can't take anything for granted. You can't be like, "Oh, they're going to give me a hand up because they think I'm, you know, it's cute that a, you know, 14, 15-year-old, now 16-year-old has a business." Like, no, this is a real, we're talking, this is long haul. Like, this is the real business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about where things started, because for someone who maybe didn't hear that special interview 2 years ago at the fair, you started with a dredge mix, Breadin Bros. Tell me how exactly it came about, and even to what it's evolved into.
Yeah, so it always started, you know, I loved fried chicken growing up. I was, you know, always trying it out at the different restaurants, and I always was telling my family, my little scoring system, and I was like, "Oh, this one's good."
You had like a scoring system for chicken tenders?
Yeah, at the time. Back in the day.
I love that.
Yeah, and at a certain point, I was, you know, always curious about tinkering with it at home, you know, just out of like passion for it, you know, because it was like, "Oh, you know, maybe I could do this better," or just the joy of making it at home. And eventually we moved to, you know, we would do all the things. I remember very clearly one night we did these, like, we put pretzels in a mixer and we ground them up and we made chicken with that.
Wow.
I don't think it was the best.
Yeah.
You know, thinking back on it, but
you're trying stuff.
Yeah, trying stuff and spending time with the family. And
yeah. And a lot of this was with grandma, right?
Was actually, most of that was with my mom.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, all good. And
I remember there was a connection to your grandma that we learned about a couple years ago. I don't know if she works with you or something.
Yeah, I would say she's my partner in crime.
Yeah, okay.
So, back in 2020, I was at home during the lockdown, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, I want to try this flour mix. I hadn't done that before at home." And we were like, "Okay." So, and we had everything at home. So we made it that night. And I remember trying it and I was like, "Dude, this is the greatest thing ever." And that kind of really ignited my passion for making that recipe perfect. And
how do you make a dredge mix and then make it to scale? Is that easy to do? Is that tough to do? Was that a lot of hoops to jump through?
It wasn't as much with the hoops. The main thing was getting the recipe perfect, because there was. So
does it change when you do it to scale a recipe? Like, okay, I have this recipe. You think you just multiply it by 50 and I'll make 50 recipes. But does it? Sometimes I know when people mass produce, it changes things a little bit. Did it?
I think with flour-based mixes, you don't really get that as much. I think flour-based mixes are, you know, a lot easier when it comes to that. But yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. So then you dial in a recipe and you bag it up, and then what is your first place at the fair?
That was our first place. I mean, we had some, after our first batch went out to some family friends and, you know, family.
You're getting good feedback.
And we're getting great feedback. People are like, "Oh, this is great," you know. And
how do you decide where to price it?
Well, I think we really, on the pricing, we were like, "Okay, this is an all natural thing." And we looked at our costs and we said, "All right, well, this is all natural. This is a bit more premium." Yeah. So, you know, we kind of went from there.
Yeah. What does it sit at?
Right now, depending on where you get it, because it's about $10.
Yeah.
We like to say for retail. Yeah.
And I know that a general store has been a place. I remember when Jolie, when they first started bringing in your stuff, we were on the air talking about it, and she had mentioned it. I was like, "Oh, there's Aiden," so really exciting to see some of your place inside stores now.
Mm-hmm. It's been really awesome to see that myself.
Yeah,
it's been, like I said earlier, it's been nice being able to like reap what you sow when it comes to that, and it just puts a smile on your face.
Okay, so how do you figure how to grow? Like not even just in quantity, but I know we're adding some new flavors and things to the mix. Talk about some of the new SKUs and products that you just released.
Yeah, so last year we came out with some of the boosters, and that's something we were really excited about because we're able to make other flavors without having to make more bags. It's just like, we have the classic bags, and then you're able to add your boosters into that original mix. And
so these boosters, these are new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me about the boosters. These are pretty cool. They're like little baggies, and tell me about these.
Yeah. So the story of how they came along, we were like, all right, we got to do more flavors. Everybody wants a spicy. And we were like, but if you do, the spicy mix, then you have to do another bag. And it's just, you feel like it's like, it's too much and we don't know how well it's going to do. But then we were like, we don't have to do that. We could just make these little booster packs and we only have to have the original mix. And we were like, that's it. So we took some time. We developed a couple flavors, the ones that you just showed. And we launched those last year. We brought those to the Mid-State Fair last year.
And tell me the different flavors you got going on.
So right now we have spicy, which is my favorite thing about it is it's not like a, punch in the gut kind of spicy. It's more of a deep, flavorful, smoky spicy with just a little bit of kick. Our Italian blend, which is personally my favorite booster. It's really great. We've done it on meatballs. We've done it on pork. It's really awesome for those kinds of things. And then our lemon pepper is also pretty popular. And that's, we love doing that on zucchini and fish and those kind of things.
What some other things that you're putting dredge mix on? Obviously the chicken. I think I remember you doing like fried pickles.
Fried pickles, fried zucchini, fried chicken. That's what we were doing the first year.
The zucchini's great. Mm-hmm. What are other little things you've experimented on where you're like, oh, damn, it works good on that?
So we did, I think it was actually that year's fair. We did meatballs, and those were really good. People
like you're putting the dredge on the meatballs, like the crispy meatballs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And we also did chicken fried steak. That's we've done that at home, and
how'd that turn out?
It turned out good.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a really popular choice with Breadin Bros. People love doing that. And then with things people have done with Breadin Bros, my favorite story is somebody messaged us Thanksgiving, and they said, we were out of flour to make gravy for Thanksgiving, and we had to make the gravy, and we were like, we have some Breadin Bros lying around. That's, just seasoned flour, right? So they made the gravy with the Breadin Bros, and they were like, this is awesome. So that's become one of our favorites too, and we do that at Thanksgiving now. And
put it in the gravy.
Put it in the gravy.
That is so cool. Mm-hmm. I love that. So I saw you got involved in like sponsoring like a stock car or racing or something. What was that?
So that was actually our own race team. So that kind of spurred from. So that was 24 Hours of Lemons. Their whole thing is cheap cars for endurance racing.
Yeah.
And I went out to the track a couple of years ago before Breadin Bros got started in like 2022. And I was like, dude, this series is awesome. And, I wanted to start a team since then. I was like, dude, I got to go do this race. And eventually, like end of 2023, my dad and a couple of his friends were like, all right, let's actually do this. So we picked up this 2005 Mustang from I think it was a tow yard. It was an impound.
Yeah.
And we had to build it from the ground up into a race car.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know you were so into cars. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's, I love the, the racing side of things. And lemons really hooked me on, they were pretty, I'm trying to figure out how to say this because I love lemons.
Yeah.
But, it's more of, they take themselves less seriously, I would say. So, like, they'll have, like, these, like, silly penalties and, they'll have you go all out on your theme. And
it's a little more fun.
Yeah,
it's like spirit.
The fun side of racing. Yeah.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
So we did that. They, I went out. I got all the money to go do it. And then we had to get the roll cage installed, all the safety stuff. And then we
Did you drive?
I didn't drive because I didn't have my license at the time.
Do you have it now?
I have gotten my license. I got it a couple months ago.
Cool.
So
How do you like driving?
it's been so, it's such a weird, at first it was such a weird feeling being in the car alone. I'm like, I'm in the car alone driving. Like,
I love that.
So weird, but I've gotten used to it.
Yeah. So you're young, hungry, already building something people are starting to follow. But let's kind of zoom out. When all is said and done, like years down the road, Aiden, what do you want Breadin Bros to be really be remembered for?
I want Breadin Bros to be remembered for, I hope people remember it as, I hope it's remembered for like being able to create those experiences, where it's like you're at home, you're making chicken or whatever, whatever. And, those dinners with the family and, just...
Is there someone you'd want to collab with? Like, can you think of either a company or this or like a dream collab that you thought of?
Yeah. One, I think that was maybe not anymore. Maybe I've matured a little and realized this wasn't fit for Breadin Bros.
What,
but
Mr. Beast?
A long time ago, I thought that it would be the sickest thing ever if there was a Doritos flavored Breadin Bros.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I've kind of realized now
that ship has sailed, maybe
that ship has sailed.
But what if you got big enough and Doritos starts knocking on the door, brother, being like, look, here's a great example. My friend who has Central Coast Brewing, the beer place in Slow, he made a peanut butter flavored beer. And that's a thing. I know you don't drink beer, but that is this kind of a peanut butter flavored beer is a real popular thing. So he started wanting it to look like a Skippy peanut butter can. Like the can of beer itself looks like a Skippy peanut butter can. So then he started talking to Skippy, and they're like really the Skippy, the peanut butter company. And here's now this brewery in San Luis Obispo, Central Coast Brew, has this peanut butter stout or this beer that is, and it's got Skippy's logo on it. Like Skippy has put their stamp of approval. It's a full-on collab with CCB and Skippy. I mean, so I think it's totally possible one day to see, they put it in Taco Bell now, these Doritos, I think it's totally possible to see a Doritos Breadin Bros collab.
Yeah. And that would be awesome, but like I said, on the maturing side, I've kind of realized, it kind of goes against what, we are.
Does it?
Yeah. We're all, it's all natural.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. I see. So I've kind of moved on from that,
There you go.
Yeah.
So, how do people learn more about it? How can people find it and get their hands on it?
Well, we have a couple stores in San Luis Obispo County, a general store downtown.
Paso,
Creston House and general store out in Creston. We got into Dusi too.
Nice, love them.
Their tasting room. And now our latest addition has been the Avila Valley Barn.
There you go. Nice. That's a good score.
Yeah.
But you would love to see it in more places even.
Yeah. And recently we actually did this pretty cool collaboration with Paso Robles Gifts. So they're a new company up in Paso, and they do these gift packages for whether it's for weddings, just for a friend, for events, corporate stuff. And they reached out to us and they were like, hey, we're doing these gift box things and we want to use local companies, and your product came up and we were really interested. So we've been working together on that, and that's one of our new things. Yeah.
Let me ask you a couple things as a business owner. How are you using social media? Do you find social media easy? Do you feel you're, quote, good at it? Or is it something you struggle with and really got to push yourself at doing? And then I want to ask you about AI, and how are you using AI to help you in your business?
Yeah, so on the social media side, I think right now our social media is really about connecting, people who are already engaged with Breadin Bros to new things. So like, oh, we're in this new store now, we have this new flavor. That's kind of what we use the social media for right now. Obviously, I think, expanding that in the future is going to be really important. And like you mentioned too, with AI, I think that's going to be, really important to implement that and to, that'll help us big time in keeping up with.
Do you play with AI right now?
Yeah, a little bit from time to time. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Super interesting.
Have you started exploring how you think, your business is what? Just you, maybe you and your grandma, or just a couple of you, if not just you, right?
Yeah.
How many people are in?
I think, it's mainly me and my grandma, and then, sometimes other family members will chime in. Or,
right, sure. So at some point, as you grow, or even as you are as little as you are now, using AI to kind of help you in different ways could really be smart, Yeah.
I think it'll open a lot of doors that would have been shut otherwise.
Yeah, it's an interesting time right now. Well, cool, man. I've always really enjoyed just your acumen for business at such a young age, and you're really fun to talk to. And you're 16 years old. You're about to get in your summer. What are you going to spend your summer right now doing?
My summer is going to be a lot of, I think it's going to be time with Breadin Bros, time with other work, time at the water park, summer school, all the regular.
Yeah, sure.
All the regular do
you have a lot of friends? Do you have a lot of friends in school, or do you kind of really stick to the business? How is your social situation?
I mean, I've got friends at school. I keep my circle a little tight. I have my close friends, and that they're really awesome. And otherwise,
what do they think of your company?
They think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
pretty
all
cool.
like, yeah. Yeah, I got one person from my math class signed in my yearbook. She was like, "You make pretty good chicken stuff." And then she signed off.
KIT, keep in touch. Have a great summer.
Yep.
I love
basically.
it. Do they still write the same kind of stuff in yearbooks? Same kind of stuff? Have a great summer, KIT. What are the little things that all the girls write in yearbooks?
I haven't heard of KIT.
You haven't? They used to write that all the time. KIT, like keep in touch.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't seen that one.
So that died, that went away. That died.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it died.
Well, I'm that old. Well, what are some of the trite, quintessential things that people write in yearbooks these days?
Have a good summer is one that's really, really stuck through the years.
Yeah, that has for
clearly.
Sure.
And just other otherwise there's a lot of personal inside jokes in there, and yeah.
And then
I get a lot of me personally. I get a lot of "you're gonna go far."
There you go.
I get that quite a bit in my yearbook. So.
That's gotta feel really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty nice looking back, and yeah.
Good for you, dude. Well, look, I always enjoy talking to you. We got this Dredge Mix, the brand new gluten-free version, if you are gluten intolerant. And then these little booster packs, these are great because what these do is they take the, regular Dredge Mix, you add some of these babies on there, and you got spicy flavor, lemon pepper, Italian Parmesan or Italian blend. So you got it all going on, man. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and it's been really nice to talk to you, too. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're super excited for the summer, and our gluten-free is coming to the Mid-State Fair. That's where we're going to launch it. So
this is brand new. Brand new.
This is the first. I'm pretty sure this show is going to be the first time anyone's really heard of it outside of the
breaking news
circle.
with Breadin Bros.
Yeah.
Well, I feel very honored that you shared that right here on this media outlet. Thank you very much, brother. Really appreciate you as always for the time, and I can't wait to catch up with you again. Big fan of you and your business, man.
Yeah, and it was really exciting to catch up with you too. I always love talking to you, and I'm excited for the next time we do it.
Oh,
all right?
That means a lot, man. Talk soon, and have a great summer.
Yep, you too.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Big thanks to Aiden from that first booth at the fair. And like you said, he'll be back at the fair, to launching his flavor boosters, a gluten-free Dredge Mix. This guy's on it. Check out where they're stocked across the Central Coast. Go to breadinbros.com. We also got all the links for you in the show notes, including where to follow Aiden and the brand on socials. Keep rising, Aiden, and keep that fryer hot. All right, before we bounce out of here, you know what I love? A business that doesn't just sell clothes, but they serve people. How about a clothing store with hospitality? Yeah, that's why I'm pumped. Singers, big and tall, are now right here in SLO. These guys have been around 50 years in the game. Yeah, since 1975. They moved from Santa Barbara to Los Osos Valley Road, right in that same plaza as the Rib Line. These guys don't just size you, they see you. Bruce and Ellen are the heart of it all, and their hospitality, like I said, it's next level. Shopping for a wedding? They'll even tailor what you buy right there in-house. And if you need help, they'll FaceTime you to get it right. I mean, I've been shopping with these guys when they were in Santa Barbara by Gelson's, and I would only see them maybe once a year, and they would get on FaceTime with me and send stuff up. They're just great people. I'm so stoked that they're here in San Luis Obispo. This is your spot. If you know someone who is big, who is a tall drink of water, show them some love. Singers big and tall, fit happens here. And let them know you heard them on Up and Adam. All right. Our thanks to Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show, Start Again. Of course, our thanks to our guest today, Aiden Ponti, and Josh and Chiasa Clapper, my friends at Tamber Winery, where we recorded this beautiful interview at the Low Bro Studios at Tamber. Check out their tasting room in the village of Arroyo Grande. Their wines are world class, and they're just fantastic people. Love them, tamberwinery.com. And to you, yeah, I got some thanks for you too. Thank you for rating, reviewing, and subscribing to this show wherever you choose to listen to it, and for helping others discover the community by sharing the show with a friend. It means a ton. Till tomorrow. Till Friday. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Can't wait. I'm Adam Montiel. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for being Up and Adam.